My life in the last 7 months has been pure hell. It has totally imploded, which I know I spelt wrong, but I'm driving. Give me a break. So, in the last 7 months, I have been attacked by. There were signs, but I was thinking, that's just my imagination. So I let them go, and I let them go way too many times. And I all of a sudden got notices, pretty important notices from a group I belong to that I'm being banished from this group. What does that mean? It's a pretty big deal. It cuts me off from not only my friends, but where I was making my money too, because I was selling to my friends. I was taking on commissions, and this banishment was based on lies, pure lies. I was unable to defend myself. I have appealed to the corporate entity and have written several letters and have never gotten a return from them. So I have been unable to do anything about it. I have contacted several attorneys because this is costing me money. It's costing me a lot of money. And I cannot seem to get any help. It's cost me my home, so I'm now homeless, which is one of the reasons I am all packed up and going back to Mississippi. I just don't know what to do. So, been extremely depressed. Try to keep a happy face, and that doesn't seem to be helping. You know, you do your best, you try and help people, you do what you would like people to do for you, you treat people the way you want to be treated, and it always kicks me in the face, you know, always kicks me in the face. I mean, even in the move, I ended up having to move by myself, loading stuff up. Now my not really my ex-husband, because we're not divorced, but we're not together. He came up and grabbed half of my stuff for me and brought it down. But the other half I had to load up myself. He did volunteer to come back up, but I just couldn't deal with that too. Him being around just puts me on edge. It makes me extremely ornery. So, you know, I went from, I mean, just last Christmas, I had a dinner party. I had 13 people there, and I could have had a lot more, but I couldn't fit that many people in my house. And, you know, I was having people over at my house all the time. I was teaching, sewing, everything was good. And, you know, I was extremely involved. I had events going on. And I went from that to being cut off. I can't even get on to the site. I mean, I could, but it's a violation of the order. So I can't get onto the sites. I can't associate with my friends. I can't do any of that. And I can't even defend myself to prove that this is wrong. And I don't even know who made these charges against me. And like I said, there was supposedly some sort of investigation. I wasn't involved in the investigation. I went back through. All right, back up a little bit. I made, not really charges, I made a complaint, and there was an investigation in that complaint, which I was involved with, and the person that I made the complaint on was involved with. I went back through all of the written letters and everything when that was going on. There were several closures of that. And, okay, so the first closure, none of the closures I agreed with, but I complied with. And I didn't think that that complaint needed to go any further than the local. I tried to do it in-house, and it was over a stupid little issue of I couldn't talk to a person that I needed to talk to over something that was being planned, and this person was over it, and there was a communication issue. So I thought there was a misunderstanding. We just needed to get together and work it out, but there was a problem that we couldn't get that done. When that couldn't get taken care of locally, I went to the next step, which is what you do, right? That turned into more than it needed to be. The conclusion came down that I didn't agree with, but I wrote a letter. I was like, okay, I understand, but in the investigation that this particular person took, I don't see it as what I asked, but that's okay. I'll comply. Thank you very much. That's the end of it. Well, then I get a call from another person saying, hey, I understand you're not happy with this. I would like to look into it. Can you meet me? We'll talk about it. And I was like, cool, no problem. And then I get another, well, just for da-da-da-da, I'm going to have da-da-da-da. And I was like, cool, no problem. And I met da-da-da. That went off, and I thought it was over with. And, this is all done in writing, except for the meetings, Well, the last one was actually a face-to-face meeting. Everything else was done in writing. And I figured it was all said and done. And then, like I said, I'm going on my merry way, leaving everybody alone. I stopped dealing with the local issue. I started dealing with more of the outer issue, and avoiding the people I was having issues with, just so everybody could be happy. And I get this thing telling me that not only am I not allowed to be around, they're going to announce it to everybody. And this is why, because I'm, harassing people. I'm not talking to anybody. How am I harassing people? I'm talking to my friends. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to find out what's going on. Nobody's telling me anything. And the person who's informing me of this stuff is saying, well, because you acknowledged the letter. Okay, well, I acknowledged that you told me, but you didn't tell me why. You told me that this is what's going on, but you didn't tell me why this is going on. You didn't tell me who said this. You didn't tell me when it happened. You didn't tell me anything. All I know is this is what's been said, and that you guys found it to be true, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, it got announced, and it got, reinstated, because it expired, and then it reinstated it. So I get it again, and I asked him again. I was like, I'm not aware of any investigation. He said there was an investigation. So I went back through, and I looked in all of these things thinking, okay, maybe this investigation wasn't what I thought it was. Maybe it was actually against me, and I just misread, because I was actually, when the second conversation on what I thought was the first issue happened, I was sick. I had the type B influenza, flu, and strep. So I wasn't really thinking straight. So I went through and I reread everything between me and the person that was the moderator at that time. Yeah, nothing in those letters in the interchange said anything that conversation was investigating me as being a harasser. So I don't don't know where that investigation came from. So the next step would be to get a hold of corporate. This is a 501c3 group. And so I did. Well, I've written twice and explained I have no clue what they're talking about. I don't know what investigation they're talking about. Could you please at least let me know? I mean, explain this to me so I'm not sitting here, bedazzled over what the hell is going on. And I'm not getting anything. In the meantime, everything else is just falling apart. Because they've taken everything away. Everything. My livelihood, my friends, everything. Because I was doing this position 24/7. 24/7. And everybody that was involved in this knew that. So I find it to be very vindictive. And even if I could get it turned, I'm not really so sure I even want to be associated with these people. I'm not talking about the association. I'm talking about the people themselves, those particular people. Because the magnitude of deceit and the ability to lie is just amazing to me. I just can't fathom it, It confuses the living, out of me that people can be that deceitful. They can be, all up in your business and, push you to the point of exhaustion. And, I literally worked myself to exhaustion. And yes, that is my own fault for not being more firm on the nose, because I did say no several times. But I wasn't firm enough on the nose that, yes, I ended up in the hospital twice. But I am for the group, not for the individual. I work for the group. I want the group to look awesome. And I believe in everybody doing their 110%. And if the group fails, I fail. So, I'm going to work my butt off. And if somebody needs help, I'm going to jump in there and help them too. And yes, that basically makes me end up working 3 or 4 times harder than anybody else. But I understand that in a group that is 95%, 80, 98, 99.999% volunteers, you're going to have issues where people have other life issues they have to take care of first. So there's going to be, slack where you have to make up that slack, and I will jump in and make up that slack without a problem and be very happy to do so and not expect anything in return ever. So I always came at it genuine. So to have somebody come back at me with that I'm into it for myself and I'm into it for this and I'm into it for that is just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. To put it in any other word I couldn't do. I found these people to be more of a family to me than anything else. And it's just recently that, because I've been involved with these people for, not these particular people, but the group, the association, for almost the majority of my life. And the association has really helped me out throughout my life. And it didn't matter where I went, they were there, and you'd always have a family somewhere. You always had that connection somewhere. So this is like ripping the rug right out from underneath me. And I think their final step is to have me completely exiled out of this 501c3, which would be total devastation for me. And I think that's their goal. And I don't know why. I don't know what the hell I did. I don't understand. And I think it's cowardly that they won't even explain it to me. Nobody will explain it to me. Nobody will tell me why. Nobody will even put it out in writing. I prefer everything in writing. They just won't talk to me, you know? And I've had no problem, you know, going in and confronting an issue. If somebody had an issue, come to me, talk to me about it. If I had an issue, I went and talked to them. And that may have been the problem. Maybe they just like hiding, but that's not me. I want to confront the problem, get it taken care of, move on, because life is too precious to sit there and dwell on issues. Because, you know, you dwell on issues, you got crap for life, you know? So now I still feel like I'm out there hanging and swinging, you know, and I've been feeling like that for 7 months, confused by all these really good friends of mine who have been, oh, you know, you're just a really good friend, I love you, who never said word one to defend me or back me up, who all of a sudden disappeared, and I'm like, my phone's quiet, no one's coming over anymore. Why, you know, all of a sudden I'm by myself. I don't understand it. So I guess this particular side likes to just use you until you're all used up. And when you start figuring that out, then they're just going to get rid of you. But unfortunately, getting rid of you isn't enough. Having you just move isn't enough. No, they want to totally destroy you to the point to where you're so depressed you want to just blow your brains out. Because I was there. I was almost there. And I'm not joking about that. I told one of my friends, well, I won't even call them a friend. It was a concerned person that I was at that point. They had pushed me to that point. I had lost everything. Everything hit me all at the same time. I had to move out of my house. I was losing the business I loved, because if I can't associate with these people, then I can't sell to these people. And if I can't sell to these people, I can't make money. And this stuff I do is so specialized, there isn't anyone else to sell to. So there you go. That's gone. My friends are gone. My family's gone. I'm going through a separation, divorce. That's gone. And they're all sitting home, all nice and happy. They don't care. They don't care that what they have done, all the lies, or whoever it was, all those lies, all those whatevers, literally destroyed me. And nearly killed me, literally nearly killed me. There was times I was afraid to be home alone because I had a loaded gun at home. And I do know it's not good for me right now to be home alone. I am slowly coming out of it, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all. I've gone back to one of my counseling groups that I had to go to when I was going through. I was widowed at a very young age. I was 21 or 22, and I was widowed with 2 small children. And they helped me, so I went back to them. And so that's helped out a lot. Because this is like ripping away my, me. I think it's funny too when you have individuals, well, you have us, but you call them and they're not there, or they don't have a phone, you can't get a hold of them. The only time you can talk to them is when they, want to talk to you. Or they want something or whatever. Or if you leave a message, then they call you back. If you don't actually get them, they leave a message. Well, we were just calling to see what you needed. Well, I wasn't calling to see or to ask you for anything. I just was calling to see, hey, what's up? It's not that I only have to call when I need something. So, whatever. But, so I guess this is maybe day 1 of my journey of trying to get my life back together. I've got to figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing. I literally have no place. I have a 30-foot travel trailer that I have put into a RV park in Hot Springs. I am going to keep it there as a getaway point. However, it's not exactly livable right now. I have a couple things I got to do to make it livable. So I have to make some orders and get those delivered to my family house in Edwards, and then I'll take them up to Hot Springs and have them put them in. I found somebody who can install them for me. I have one project I have to finish and deliver, and I will not say to whom, because I don't want that person to get in trouble. But this was agreed upon well before any of these sanctions were put on me, and I feel that since the contract was made before the sanctions, months before the sanctions, that I should fulfill that contract, no matter what the sanctions say. So I gotta fulfill that, get that mailed off the supplies for all the other stuff that took place around about the same time of the sanctions, and give them my apologies and let them know that I will be unable to work for them any longer due to these sanctions. Then hopefully once the parts get in, I will go back up to Hot Springs, have those things installed into the RV. I cannot live in that RV 24/7. It's way too small. Even though it's a 30-foot, it is small. So I will have to figure something else out. I will be hopefully checking out some Ren Fests. I have been talking to one up in Washington, or not Washington, I'm sorry, Wisconsin. There's a Queens, well, I'm not going to say, because I don't want, if anybody who is in this other group decides to screw other stuff up for me, I'm not going to say anything and have them call up there and screw shit up for me. I've been looking into other possibilities for teaching, and hopefully some of those things will come through. I've also am still completing my plans for my European trip for 2019. My friend who lives in the Czech is no longer in the Czech. She went back to Vicksburg, Mississippi. So I've had to change my plans around there. I've been talking to my daughter-in-law in Germany, so I will be spending a little time there, talking more to my son about maybe spending more time in Italy than I had originally thought with the family there. I found a really nice fiber folk museum not too far from the family homestead down there that has an incredible display of hand-carved drop spindles, several floor looms, back looms, and then also the knotted lace spindles for, you know, doing lace, knotted lace, and tattered lace. So I figured that museum, as you know, fiber is my passion, would be an awesome museum to go through, and it covers the folk textiles of that area, so that area of Italy. So it would be very interesting to go through and look at, and using the family connections, I could possibly get some really good access. And then it's just a jump over to Greece and that, and I could possibly have Salvatore's grandmother take me over there and stuff, so I don't have to do that by myself. I don't really want to go. I don't like the idea of going to Greece by myself. Not as a lady, but then firming up my plans for the Royal Academy of Needlework. They've got a 6-week course that I want to go and do. I'm still trying to figure out on the lodging is my issue for there right now. And then I found an awesome place to stay in Scotland. I'm just trying to figure out how long I want to stay there. I can stay there for up to 28 days. And it's centrally located, and it's above a bar. It's really cool. It's an old bar, so or pub. I think it'd be really cool. Of course, I'd probably be over it after a couple of days, so you know, it's something I have to think about. But anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to rebuild, trying to think of other things, trying to find that half glass, half full thing, and or the cloud having a silver lining or whatever. Trying to redirect my life, which is really hard when your life has gone in the same direction for so long, and it's so specialized that it's hard to figure out how to put it to other applications, you know. And it's at an application that really the only thing I could go into is museum work for reproduction of, you know, costuming for displays or theater work. And that's not easy work to find. So, not sure. Anyone have any suggestions, please let me know. Because, frankly, right now, I'm at a loss. I'm grasping at straws now. I really am. Grasping at straws. Gotta find something out. Gotta figure something out. Because My smile is falling fast. It's falling fast. You guys, I am glad you have subscribed to my channel. I hope this wasn't too depressing. If you like what you see here, I really do like when you guys give me suggestions. Please give me suggestions of what you would like to see more on here. If you'd like to send some snail mail, you can do so to the Bohe Granny at P.O. Box 24, Edwards, Mississippi 39066. I do have someone that picks up that mail and forwards it to me wherever I may be, so I do get it, and I will write back to you when I can. If you'd like to email me, you can at CHOTIAGIRL. That is chodiagirl at gmail.com. That's chodiagirl at gmail.com. And I will email you back. Or you can just leave something here and I'll message you back. Share if you like what you see and you think somebody else would like what you see. And just let us know. Give us a thumb up. Give us a thumb down if you don't like it. But if you do like it, please give us a thumb up. Until then, talk to you later. Bye. Now I have to remember how to turn this sucker off.